Hello Taurus, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And also go check out the other videos on this channel that may pertain to your sun, moon, or rising signs. That'll give you a much more dynamic picture, about what's going on this week. Okay, so let's get into it. These cards jumped out. We're going to go with that. Okay, when things pop out of the deck like that, I think they want to be heard, they want to be seen. Let's see what else Taurus needs to know. These two, what do we got? Well, we've got the Two of Cups and the Seven of Cups. All right, so let's lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. And that is going to include, interesting cards here today. That's going to include this mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're not going to look at that until the very end, so stick around. And hopefully that'll tie the reading together or give us that confirmation that we're looking for, okay? So like I said, we've got this Two of Cups. So I think this is definitely involving a love relationship that you may or may not have at the moment, okay? This reading is going to apply in two different ways. If you're in a relationship now and if you're not, okay? So if you are in a relationship now, I think there's a little bit of trouble in paradise, okay? I think something might be going on where it's either there's too much of a focus on maybe like the physical aspect of it, the emotional connection, the harmony, the really deep love and affection is maybe being masked by something else, or maybe it's not really there anymore. Right? This could be a relationship that is just, purely based on the satisfaction of desires. It could be just a physical kind of relationship. But there's something right now that is masking any kind of a deep love connection. Now, it could be that this relationship that you're in is really just kind of an indulgence. It's just something that's like purely physical or purely just kind of casual or just for fun. It doesn't have this deep emotional connection, this deep kind of true love, soulmate type of connection. If you're not in a relationship now, I think that what is masking this potential that you have with, there are a couple of court cards here. Maybe we'll find out who this person could be. But I think that what is in the way of you having this Two of Cups is this indulgence, this kind of just focused on the sensual side of life or on the satisfaction of desires and pleasure, and just maybe more of a, I don't want to say hedonistic lifestyle, but maybe just not a priority on having that emotional connection. And that's fine. Maybe you don't want that. But I see that your situation is changing. So it might be something where at this point in your life, you're ready for this. It might be that maybe you weren't really ready for it up until now. Maybe now you are. And maybe now you want to see if you need to change your life a little bit, change your lifestyle, just change things around a little bit so that you can discover this. And this is that deep bond, this soulmate love connection with somebody. Maybe you've been just kind of running away from that or hiding from that through indulgence in other things. And this could be literally anything, right? This could be just indulging in work. And that might be an indication here because watch, we've got the Queen of Discs. And this is in the position of your ego. What do you think about every day? I think you think about work. I think if this is your finances, this could be kind of a preoccupation with your physical health, physical fitness. But this could be a preoccupation with your finances, with work, with your employment, with your career. Okay, so maybe that this is kind of what you've been overindulging in, right? Or masking your other feelings with, is this kind of hyper focus on career or finances or physical fitness, something like that, right? But whatever it was, it's not this Two of Cups. This is being covered by an overindulgence in something else, okay? Put it just simply and plainly. I think part of the reason why this is so is because of this Ten of Swords that is kind of the issue that you're bringing into the reading today. It's kind of like this energy that you have just kind of with you from the past, maybe the recent past, maybe long-term past, I don't know. The point is that it's kind of that you're fed up with trying to make something work with someone on this kind of love connection, romantic level. I think it's always like a breakdown in communication. I think there's always this kind of inability to really connect intellectually, but maybe not even, not in terms you think you're smarter than everybody else, but I mean, you might be. We see some good cards here that kind of indicate that, yeah, you're a very confident and self-possessed person. That's not quite what I'm talking about. I think with this, it's more of like there seems to be a lack of connection with people. And that maybe has happened to you one too many times, and now you're just like, F it, screw it, I think this is just like two people who can't find the same words, that don't have kind of maybe the same vocabulary to really communicate their feelings and their ideas effectively. Right? So this might really be that you're a very intellectual person, that you're very well-spoken, large vocabulary, highly educated perhaps, and you just find it difficult to connect with people. Okay? And this might not be, again, it might not be on that kind of an intellectual level. This could just be in terms of how you communicate with other people, that you just haven't had a lot of good luck making that connection between two minds, right? And maybe that is now why you're kind of hyper-focused on other things, why you are covering up your need for that love connection with other indulgences, like a hyper-focus on perhaps health, fitness, or on career finances, or both, maybe, And I'm sorry if I'm being too blunt, or if I'm getting too personal, or if I'm being offensive in any way. I really don't mean to be. But if you feel that way, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to find some different word, enhance my vocabulary so I can communicate effectively. We see a lot of fire here in the central pillar of the path of the dove here. And the first one is this Queen of Wands. I think this is, again, this is you kind of wanting to be in control. This is you wanting to have the final say, the final decision. This is you wanting what you want and wanting it now. Okay, this is you don't want to wait. You don't want to struggle anymore with someone who maybe isn't on your level. And it's not that you have like a sense of superiority. I think that you know what you want, and you're confident and you're assertive about it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people aren't really living up to your standards. I think that, it's your life and you want to live it a certain way, and you want certain things for your future. You want a certain kind of relationship. You want certain kinds of fulfillment and satisfaction. And you're not going to put up with anything less than the very best that you deserve. And I think that's admirable, and I love that quality. Okay, I think that's a little bit of what's going on here. So you're saying, that if no one else is going to be equal to you, you're going to focus on you. You're going to do you. You're going to take care of your health, your fitness, your finances, your career, and you're going to be hyper-focused on that. But I still think, nevertheless, that is covering up, with the Seven of Cups, it's covering up this need, this desire for that soulmate love connection. And again, if you're in a relationship now, I think the same thing could apply here. In the immediate future, though, I do see this Lover's card. I do see that you might have to really make a choice. If you're in a relationship now, you have to make a choice. You have to maybe do that difficult thing and go where you need to go, do what you need to do in order to get that soulmate love connection. If that ain't what your relationship is now, you need to make a decision to move on and get this for you, because you deserve it. If you're not in a relationship now, I think that this is that decision that you're going to have to make to go out and find this, right? To resume the search again. Put yourself out there again and keep trying. And that might mean that a little bit of focus has to be taken away from your career or whatever this hyper-focus was, right? You might have to redirect some of this energy to go out and get this for yourself. Make the decision that if this is something you want in life, that you're gonna make it happen, okay? Now, the other card that we didn't get to yet is this Prince of Wands, and this is down in the position of your more unconscious tendencies or habits, right? And I think what this is saying, because again, there's a lot of fire in the central pillar here, which is, oddly enough, these two fire cards are really influencing these two water cards that are right in the middle. So it's almost like you have this need, this desire for this love and romance and this soulmate situation, but you've got this fire on the above and below. You've got this fiery energy that might be kind of protecting you a little bit, right? If this is kind of the love, vulnerable kind of water right in the middle, this is the fire all around it that's protecting it, okay? And this is your quickness, your impulsiveness, your kind of rashness, your quick decision making, where if you have one red flag, you're out of there. And again, that's an admirable quality. I love that quality. It's a no BS kind of attitude, right? And I think this is part of you protecting that vulnerable desire, this Two of Cups, this need and want and desire for that harmonious love connection, that true love situation, right? That romance and that really just profound and honest and vulnerable kind of love. And you're protecting it. You're protecting it by one, having this really confident and kind of dominant energy, which again, I think is a wonderful energy. And then you have also this, quick to act, quick to decide, zero tolerance kind of energy, which I think again is wonderful. But nevertheless, I think you have to make that conscious decision that if this is something you want in life, that you're going to go for it. Okay, you're going to make a conscious decision to go after that. Moving over to the path of the serpent here, we already talked about this Queen of Discs. And again, I think that is just kind of where your head is at, what occupies your mind on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's your focus on health or wealth, fitness or finances, or both. I think you're ready for a change. I think with this Two of Discs here, it is known to you. You're aware of the fact that your relationships with other people is going to change, that you want it to change, that you're kind of ready for this change. You're ready to do things differently, try different things, meeting different people, opening yourself up to different experiences, right? So I really feel like you're not just super stuck in this Queen of Discs kind of way of thinking or this way of life. I think you're ready and open for a change. You're ready to make this decision to focus on this soft, kind of vulnerable Two of Cups feeling and energy, right? So you're definitely ready for that change, but you're also a little bit frightened of it. I think with this Seven of Discs here, this is a natural fear, worry, the anxiety. What if it doesn't work out? What if, my next relationship fails? What if, I fail in this relationship? What if this never happens? A lot of what ifs, right? And that happens a lot with the Seven of Discs here. It's a lot of kind of self-doubt, fear of failure, fear of just not being as successful as possible, okay? And then I think this is an obvious card. The next one that we have is Mercury, the good old magus, juggler, magician. And this is in the position of the kind of future outcome, the long-term projection. And I think this is kind of giving you the indication that you're really the one in control. Whatever you want the world to look like, it's really up to you. It's that, who said that thing? Wayne Dyer, I think. He said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I don't know. It sounds kind of dumb, but it makes sense. And I think what it's really saying with this Magus card, kind of in mind as well, is that if you want this, you can go out and get this. If you have this idea that everyone is the same, everything is a failure, nothing is kind of lives up to your standard, everything is just a little bit disappointing, well then that's what things are going to be. I think the way we think it really does affect the way the world looks to us. And then that kind of reinforces the way we think about the world. So the Magus here is saying, look, you have to set your intention, and you have to go out and create the beauty that you want. You have to think it and believe it and live it and manifest it, okay? Now we're going to take a look at this confirmation card, this mystery card. What is that? Well, this is back to those discs. It kind of is related to, it's almost like the Queen of Discs here, and then we have the Prince of Discs. It's kind of like her child, So I think it's an extension of that Queen of Discs and saying like, look, you can still have this focus on yourself and building your life and your fitness, finances, health, and wealth. You can still have all of that, right? You don't really have to sacrifice that in order to have this, all of this fulfillment, this love connection, this soulmate situation, right? You can have all of this at once. And maybe the person that you are kind of destined to find and hook up with and really have that soulmate bond and that deep, vulnerable, trusting love connection with is somebody who is really very much like you, very much focused on the health and the wealth, the fitness, the finances, building up the earthly realm, right? It might be someone who is an earth sign. It might be someone who is maybe a little bit younger than you, maybe has that masculine energy, but an earth sign, or someone very practical, someone who has the same sort of focus as you, right? Something to keep in mind. I don't know how much stock I would put into that representing an actual person, but you never know. That does happen, and it happens not so much in the confirmation card, but it happens a lot when we get court cards on the path of the serpent. A lot of the times they represent other people involved here. And, you know, I'm leaning towards this. Maybe this is an earth sign that you're kind of, you have this potential with. So if you know anyone like this or you meet someone like this, just give them a second thought. All right. Don't just dismiss it right off the bat, but give it a little bit more attention than maybe you usually would. I think the cards can mean more than one thing at the same time, right? I think also this is saying that, look, you don't have to sacrifice your passions, your desires, your focus on these earthly things, these disc-related things, these coins. You don't have to sacrifice any of that in order to have this fulfillment. It's not one or the other. Okay, I think that's an important meaning to take away from this, but also keep that earth sign in mind. That might be someone who's going to be ringing your doorbell soon, okay? Taurus, we're going to take a look at this in the extended version. You can become a member of this channel by hitting the join button or clicking on the link in the description box. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot.